What's up, everybody? Colton from Testarossa. I'm doing a rant today. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't going to do it. But now I have no choice other than to do it. Gibson. Everybody's talking about it. What I have to say about Gibson is nothing new or cutting edge. But I feel like my points are pretty valid, and I got some things on my mind that nobody's bringing up. First of all, the headstock. Dean's headstock is nothing like a Gibson headstock. In fact, if somebody's wanting a Les Paul, and they say, oh, Dean makes a Les Paul style guitar, they look at the Dean headstock, they're immediately gonna be like, it's not a Gibson headstock. It's not the same thing. Growing up, I wanted a Gibson Les Paul. In fact, I don't want an Epiphone because the headstock is not a Gibson headstock. People that want a Gibson want a Gibson. Dean was not cutting into their market share at all, but now they are. Now they've done pissed off a bunch of people like me. I'd rather go buy a custom shop American Dean now. It's a lot more affordable. So they're completely off base with that. The headstock's nothing alike. That's not hurting Gibson at all. And the Explorer and the V-shape, yeah, you might have had a lawsuit like 40 years ago. You know, maybe when ZZ Top came out with the furry Explorers, that might have been a good time to say, hey, that's awfully similar to our design. Like, you might want to back off. But no, they didn't. So it's too late. Too late. You can't do it. In fact, if Gibson has a lawsuit, every acoustic guitar almost is in question. I mean, who's to say I came up with the dreadnought shape, you know, or the single cutaway acoustic? Hey, that's ours. You can't do it. Gibson doesn't have a lawsuit, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, but they don't have a lawsuit. And it's completely out of touch. It completely turns people off to Gibson. And it's just disappointing to see a company that was acting like they're getting back on track, and then they do something like that. And then on top of that, they take the video down and act like it never happened. Mistake number 2. You know, if you do something like that, multiple people saw that video, edited it, and thought it was good to put it out. So, like, stand by it. Don't cower down. I will say Mark Agnesi handled the situation pretty well. I know a lot of people don't like him. He's kind of a dry personality. But he handled it. He was posting memes of himself, which is, that's how Gibson should have handled it. They shouldn't, you know, delete the video and act like it didn't happen, because the internet never forgets. We all know that. So, again, people that want a Gibson want a Gibson. They don't want a Dean. There's no lawsuit there. Focus on making your guitars. Where Gibson's going wrong, in my opinion, the pricing is completely insane. They are out of their minds. $5,000 for a Les Paul custom. You can buy a Rolex for that. Come on now. Rolex is going to keep its value. The Les Paul custom, not so much. The way things are being mass produced nowadays, and the quality has, there's never going to be another vintage market like there is now. The vintage market's completely insane. But a Les Paul Standard cost over $2 grand. The Standard? Kids can't afford that. Look, you need to focus on getting your prices down. I understand it's American labor and American made, and yeah, that's gonna make things more expensive. But you need to figure out a way to pull your costs down. It's absurd. In my opinion, the Standard should be about $1,600, and the Les Paul Custom should be about $2,500. They would sell so many more. They couldn't keep up with the demand. But you got all these baby boomers, you know, that pay stupid prices because they got their corporate jobs. They pay stupid prices for all these guitars, and Gibson's so proud of their stuff now because, hey, somebody paid this for it. You know, somebody paid $8,000 for another 59 Les Paul copy. It's like, how many of those do we have to make? Look, I like a Sunburst Les Paul. It's beautiful. It's great design. Timeless. But, like, let's move on. $8,000 for a replica makes 0 sense. And, you know, the vintage market's stupid. You got a lot of people with money that don't have any sense. There's no reason a 59 Les Paul should cost $250,000. That's just stupid. It's stupid. Would I like to have one? Of course. Who wouldn't? But $250,000, get out of here. And the only reason it's that high is because some idiot paid that much for it. And that's the thing. It's a small group of people that is allowing Gibson to think, hey, we can charge this for our guitars. It's stupid. There's no common sense there. They're out of touch with the young players that are up and coming and want a Gibson and can't afford it. They're out of touch with it. That's why they're losing out to Schecter and Dean and Jackson and even Fender. It's idiotic. Don't worry about other companies. You're Gibson. Act like Gibson. You've been around a long time. People want a Gibson. They don't want another company. So act like it. And people give Gibson crap whenever they try to do something new. I'm the opposite. I think it's great. In fact, when they were doing dip switches and push-pull pots, I thought it was great because it gives you more tonal options. Why wouldn't I want that? Because it's not traditional. Look, if you want a reissue, they make plenty of reissues. Like, let's move on here. Like, how many Sunburst Les Pauls do you need? I thought it was great. Let's put some Floyd Roses on some stuff. Come on. Like, you can still buy a regular Les Paul. There's a million out there. Like, let's move forward. Gibson's stuck in the past, and their pricing is in the future. It's idiotic. Let's get some more color options. Like, let's do something wild. And as soon as they do something wild, like the custom shop, I saw they put out some neon Les Pauls with Floyd Roses. It's like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, about time they do something different. Everybody complained and whined about it. I was like, why? They're doing something different. It's awesome. You know what I was upset about? The pricing. $5,000? Come on. Somebody that's interested in a Les Paul that's a neon color with a Floyd Rose is obviously going to be into Super Strat style guitars like on the wall behind me. What can they get a Charvel for? $1,200, and they want $5,000 for the Gibson? Come on. Get it together. Let's see some new colors. Let's bring the pricing down. Let's ignore the other companies because you're Gibson. You don't have a lawsuit. Let's move forward. Let's start like innovating. Like, keep the same body designs, that's fine, but keep innovating. Like, how come nobody's made a Les Paul with 2 humbuckers and a single coil in the middle? Like, let's do something different. Like, let's move on. You can still have your traditional line and people will still buy that. But like, give me a reason to want another Gibson. Because the pricing sure as heck ain't. In fact, this point, I would probably want to buy a custom shop American Dean over a Gibson, just because they're completely out of touch and they've completely gone off the deep end. Get it together. Also, Gibson, these Kramer guitars that you showed us about a year ago, you know, the Night Swan, the 1984, the Beretta, like, those are really cool. They had some cool finish options. Those are guitars that people want. Where are they? Where are they? It's July almost, and we still haven't seen them. You introduced them at NAMM, and we haven't seen them. Where are they? People have been saying, hey, I want a Kramer. I want a Kramer. Kramer's back. Oh, those new designs are awesome. Where are they? Gibson's too busy suing Dean over a headstock that's not even remotely close. The headstock would be the only reason I wouldn't buy the Dean. Where's the Kramers? Get it together. Offer some new colors. Bring down the pricing. It's absurd. It makes me mad, and nobody's been calling it out. And all the Gibson fanboys out there defending, oh, that's similar. Similar? Those headstocks are nothing alike. I mean, it's stupid. It disgusts me. I used to love Gibson, and now I'm so disappointed in them. Anyway, today's song recommendation. One of the greatest albums of all time. Black Oak, Arkansas, X-rated. There's a couple good songs on this. I recommend listening to the whole album. But the song that really got me into Black Oak, Fighting Cock. Check it out. Look at Jim Dandy all shirtless on the back. The original David Lee Roth right there. But yeah, check this album out. Tommy Aldridge, Whitesnake, Ozzy on the drums. Killer album. Check it out. Black Oak, Arkansas, Fighting Cock. Anyway, Sorry for the intensity. I just had to get it off my chest. Later, fools.